What? No, I'm not smoking in the house. Damn it. Hey guys, Mandy Fraker coming at you again to talk about movies. As always, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share that shit. So, I'm back at you again, guys. Been away for a little while, but I'm here at least for today. And I want to talk to you about the year 2000. That is when I graduated high school. That's my picture right there. And, but that wasn't the greatest thing that happened in the year 2000. There was a little book called American Psycho by Bret Easton Hills that was adapted into a film starring Christian Bale. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And, I don't know, I think the character's really relatable. And I wanted to give you the top 5 facts that I had found about this film. Oh man, nice camera. What is that, a Canon EOS? Your compliment was sufficient, Michael. So one of my most favorite parts of making these videos is the editing process. I find it to be amazing, feel a lot of creative juices flowing and stuff like that. So speaking of editing, Willem Dafoe, the guy who plays, I believe, Detective Kimball, or Lieutenant Kimball or something like that, and he's investigating the murder of Paul Allen. So the way the director did this was he had Willem Dafoe film each of his scenes 3 different ways. One way was that he was absolutely sure that Bateman had murdered Paul Allen. The other way he did it was that he wasn't quite sure whether he did it or not. And then the other way he filmed it was he had no idea who did it at all whatsoever. He was completely oblivious, especially to Bateman's guilt. And then they took all 3 ways of doing those scenes and then mixed them all together to kind of create a feeling of, unsurety, uneasiness. Like, you're just really not sure what's going on here. How does nobody know this? Yes, I'd like to make a reservation for 8 or 8:30 perhaps. A big thing that's mentioned a lot in this movie, as well as the book that's based upon, is designer fashion labels. So one of the biggest problems, believe it or not, the filmmakers had was securing the use of those labels and their, clothing in this movie. So one of them, and jewelry as well. So one of them is Cerruti. So Cerruti agreed that you can wear and talk about the clothes throughout the entire movie as long as if you can't wear them while you're killing somebody. But otherwise you're fine. Another one was a little company called Rolex. So Rolex agreed that everybody in the movie could wear a Rolex as long as it wasn't Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale's character. They didn't like that association with it. Whitney Houston also refused to have her music on the soundtrack as well, which is interesting. So, in that scene when he's laying in bed with the prostitutes and they touch his Rolex and he says, "Don't touch the watch." It's actually supposed to be, "Don't touch the Rolex." But you never really see a shot of the Rolex. It's kind of like in the dark. You don't really see it because they're just not allowing it. So I thought that was really interesting. Inspiration for characters in movies and in books is always a huge thing. And with this film, it's no exception. So Christian Bale was trying to figure out how he can get inspired to play the character of Patrick Bateman. So he drew his, basically used as a muse or as an inspiration or something to draw upon 2 different people. One of them was Tom Cruise. A couple decades ago, Tom Cruise appeared on the Letterman show, and he had this very intense friendliness, but with nothing behind the eyes. And so that was one of the inspirations he used for that. The other inspiration he used was Nicolas Cage in a film called Vampire's Kiss. Watch this clip.
Unless, of course, it's somehow been misfiled.
Misfiled?
Yes, misfiled. Sometimes somebody puts a document in the wrong file and then it's misfiled. It makes it much harder to find.
So as you can see, Nicolas Cage is a lot like him. Or he's a lot like Nicolas Cage. So I thought that was really cool, man, to copy, to take those 2 people, kind of meld them together, and then take the script, put it in there, and be that character. Thought that was really neat. 2 things. 1, you can't bleach this t-shirt. So in the beginning of the film, we find Christian Bale's character, Bateman, listing and going through an intense routine. You know, from what he does in the shower to scrub his body, you know, his body wash and his routine in the shower, to face masks and what kind of aftershave he wears and all that other kind of stuff. So Christian Bale, to truly get in the character, actually did that entire routine every day. He also went to the gym quite a bit to stay in shape. I just thought that was really cool. So, I don't know, maybe you don't think that's cool, but I do. You like Huey Lewis in the News? So last but not least, you know, you have actors like Willem Dafoe, you have Christian Bale, you have Reese Witherspoon, you got people like that, and you're thinking like, wow, they must have spent a lot of money to get those actors in the movie. But you would be wrong in thinking that. The biggest production cost in the entire film was securing the music for the film. So you have like Lady in Red, you have Huey Lewis in the News, you got a little bit of Whitney Houston, but not too much because she didn't like the film. I mean, that was the biggest production cost, and that's the case for a lot of movies. I had done a video, I don't remember which one, where I went into how much a particular song costed. But that's amazing that, you know, the creativity and production centered so much around some of that music that they were willing to spend that much money on this film. In fact, this film was like hated. They filmed some of it in Canada, and a lot of the government and citizens like protested against it. There were just a lot of people who didn't like this movie. It was treated very much like Clockwork Orange, which is kind of people loosely compare it to because of the kind of the easiness at which they view the psychopath and the extreme violence and stuff like that. But I thought this movie was amazing. You know, got Jared Leto in it. It was just great, so I wanted to do a video on that movie. Wanted an opportunity to put this fake blood on that I bought 6 months ago. And, I mean, hey, that's all I got for you guys. So as always... Alright, I know I said 5 facts, but we're actually going to do a 6th fact. So, if you notice, I don't know if you can see that very well, I don't know if the camera's focusing on it, but Patrick Bateman's business card, actually everybody's business card, at the top right hand corner says Pearson Pierce Mergers and Acquisitions. However, the word acquisitions is clearly spelled incorrectly. Now there's 2 theories about that. One of them is that it's spelled wrong to show like the characters are so vain and so self-obsessed that they don't even realize that that little detail is incorrect, even though they pay attention to little details all day long. The other one is just simply that, you know, when they made all these cards for the movie, these props, that it was just spelt wrong by accident. But I got this on a bunch of these actually on Etsy, and it is in fact authentic to the point where acquisitions is spelt wrong. That's all I got for you guys. I gotta get going. Gotta return some videotapes. So as always, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share that shit.